Get ready for spine-tingling dread as we dive into 10 creepy true horror stories. In the dark corners of our world, truth is often more terrifying than fiction. Subscribe now and join us on a journey through the unknown. Story 1: The Forgotten Heirloom. Lady Eleanor's hands trembled as she clutched the tarnished mirror. The whispers around her grew more insistent, recounting the tragedy that had befallen her long-lost relative. The chilling tale unfolded like a ghostly tapestry, revealing a dark secret that had festered for centuries within the manor's walls. The ancestral curse, woven into the fabric of the Victorian manor, was far more sinister than Lady Eleanor could have imagined. The forgotten heirloom, the cursed mirror, had become a vessel for the tormented soul of a betrayed ancestor. The specter sought justice, and Lady Eleanor was unwittingly thrust into the role of arbiter for the sins of her lineage. As Lady Eleanor peered into the mirror, a ghastly figure materialized, its features twisted with anguish and resentment. The malevolent spirit, denied peace for centuries, sought retribution for a betrayal that echoed through the ages. Lady Eleanor's blood ran cold as the ghostly figure pointed accusingly at her, laying bare the sins of her forebears. In the climactic moment, the shadows in the attic stirred with newfound energy. The malevolent spirit, freed from the confines of the cursed mirror, materialized in a ghastly form. Lady Eleanor recoiled in horror as the ghostly figure advanced, its ethereal fingers reaching for her very soul. A gut-wrenching scream echoed through the Victorian manor as Lady Eleanor became entwined with the vengeful spirit. The shadows in the attic danced in a macabre celebration of justice, as Lady Eleanor's fate merged with the tormented legacy of her ancestors. The forgotten heirloom had exacted its toll, leaving the attic in an eerie silence, haunted by the whispers of the past. And so, the Victorian manor stood as a testament to the malevolence that lurked in the shadows, waiting to ensnare those who dared to uncover the secrets of the forgotten heirloom. Lady Eleanor's tragic tale became a chilling warning, echoing through the generations of a family forever marked by the curse that dwelled in the attic's depths. The echoes of Lady Eleanor's anguished scream lingered in the air as the malevolent spirit reclaimed its rightful place within the attic's shadows. The cursed mirror, now devoid of its spectral prisoner, seemed to pulse with an unholy energy. The room, once filled with foreboding whispers, fell into an oppressive silence. The Victorian manor, with its mahogany walls holding the weight of generations past, bore witness to the tragic conclusion of Lady Eleanor's ill-fated exploration. The malevolence that had laid dormant for so long now permeated every corner of the attic, casting an indelible stain on the family's history. The shadows in the attic seemed to writhe with satisfaction, as if the very essence of the cursed mirror had seeped into the air, imbuing the space with an otherworldly malevolence. It was a haunting reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, their truths buried in the depths of time. In the aftermath of Lady Eleanor's ordeal, the Victorian manor took on an even more foreboding aura. Servants spoke in hushed tones about the attic, warning each other to steer clear of the cursed mirror. The once grand estate now bore the weight of a curse that refused to be ignored, and the manor's residents couldn't escape the feeling that unseen eyes watched their every move. As the years passed, the tale of Lady Eleanor's encounter with the malevolent spirit became a cautionary legend whispered from one generation to the next. The attic, once a forgotten realm, was transformed into a forbidden sanctuary, sealed off to all who valued their sanity. Yet, despite the precautions taken to keep the shadows in check, the echoes of Lady Eleanor's scream would occasionally resurface in the stillness of the night. Some claimed to have heard her voice, a spectral wail that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the Victorian manor. Those brave enough to investigate were met with an oppressive darkness, as if the attic itself held a grudge against the living. And so, the Victorian manor stood frozen in time, a monument to the malevolence that lurked in the attic's depths. Lady Eleanor's story became a cautionary tale, a whispered reminder that some secrets were best left undisturbed, and that the shadows in the attic held more than mere whispers of the past. They held the chilling legacy of a curse that refused to be forgotten. Story 2: The Seance of Despair. Amelia, the medium, could feel the weight of the supernatural gathering as she initiated the seance in the Victorian manor's attic. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an eerie ambience that seemed to feed the malevolent energy lingering in the air. As the seance progressed, the room grew colder, and the friends huddled together, their breath visible in the chilling atmosphere. Amelia's voice quivered as she called upon spirits to reveal themselves. Unbeknownst to the group, the shadows in the attic began to stir with a sinister purpose. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind blew through the attic, extinguishing the candles. Panic gripped the friends as darkness enveloped them, leaving only the pale glow of the moonlight filtering through the dust-laden windows. Unseen eyes watched their every move, and an otherworldly presence seemed to permeate the very air they breathed. In the climactic moment, the seance took an unexpected turn. The ghostly figure of a young woman materialized, her spectral form bathed in an ethereal light. Her eyes held a profound sadness, and her voice echoed with a haunting melody as she recounted a tale of forbidden love, betrayal, and a tragic demise. As the friends listened in horrified fascination, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. The ghostly apparition's gaze turned accusatory, and the room seemed to close in on them. Unbeknownst to the friends, they had awakened a vengeful spirit with a thirst for retribution. The shadows in the attic seemed to come alive, twisting and contorting with an otherworldly energy. A blood-curdling scream pierced the stillness as the malevolent spirit exacted its revenge. The attic door slammed shut with an echoing finality, sealing the friends in with the vengeful ghost. In the end, only one friend emerged from the attic, their eyes vacant, and their demeanor haunted. The others were lost to the shadows, consumed by the malevolence that had been awakened during the ill-fated seance. The Victorian manor bore witness to the tragic aftermath, its attic forever tainted by the echoes of despair and the chilling consequences of meddling with forces beyond mortal comprehension. And so, the attic became a forbidden realm, its ghostly whispers serving as a dire warning to those who dared to tamper with the supernatural. The Seance of Despair had left an indelible mark on the Victorian manor, a scar that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. The survivor, haunted by the events in the attic, descended from the forbidden realm with a hollow gaze. The once close group of friends had been shattered, and the weight of the supernatural tragedy hung heavily on their shoulders. The Victorian manor, now a silent witness to the malevolence unleashed, stood as a testament to the consequences of delving into the unknown. Word of the ill-fated seance spread like wildfire through the manor's corridors. Servants exchanged fearful glances, and rumors of the vengeful spirit trapped within the attic circulated among the staff. The once grand estate, wrapped in an ominous atmosphere, seemed to mourn the lost souls ensnared by the shadows. The survivor, tormented by guilt and plagued by visions of their friends' fates, became a pariah within the manor's walls. Sleepless nights were punctuated by ghostly whispers that seemed to emanate from the very structure of the house. The attic door, once a threshold to curiosity, remained sealed, a silent testament to the tragedy that had unfolded within. Over time, the survivors' sanity began to unravel as they grappled with the memories of that fateful night. The malevolent spirit, having tasted revenge, continued to cast its shadow over the Victorian manor. Those who dared to approach the attic reported inexplicable phenomena, ghostly apparitions, phantom footsteps, and an unshakable feeling of being watched. In a desperate attempt to find closure, the survivor sought out Amelia, the medium who had unwittingly unleashed the malevolence. Together, they returned to the attic, armed with knowledge of the tragic tale that had unfolded. The seance of despair had left scars not only on the living but also on the very fabric of the manor itself. As they crossed the threshold into the attic, the air grew thick with tension. The shadows seemed to recoil at their presence, yet the oppressive weight of the vengeful spirit lingered. The survivor, guided by the ghostly whispers, approached the center of the room, where the seance had taken a turn for the macabre. In a heart-wrenching moment, the ghostly figure materialized once more, its eyes reflecting the sorrow of a love betrayed. The survivor, compelled by empathy, pleaded for forgiveness and offered solace to the tormented spirit. The room trembled as if caught between the realms of the living and the dead. In an unexpected twist, the ghostly apparition's visage softened, and the air in the attic lifted. The survivor felt a profound sense of release as the vengeful spirit dissipated into the ethereal realm, leaving behind a lingering peace. The shadows, once malevolent, seemed to retreat, and the oppressive atmosphere that had gripped the attic began to dissipate. The survivor emerged from the attic, their burden lifted, and the Victorian manor exhaled a collective sigh. The forbidden realm had been confronted, and the consequences of the seance of despair had found resolution. The attic, once a harbinger of doom, became a silent witness to the transformative power of remorse and forgiveness. But the Victorian manor, with its storied history, still held mysteries within its walls. The survivors, forever changed by the supernatural ordeal, carried the weight of the past. As the shadows in the attic settled into a dormant state, the manor stood as a solemn reminder that some tales, once unleashed, could never be forgotten. Story 3: The Portrait's Curse. Victor, the heir to the Victorian manor, found himself irresistibly drawn to the haunting portrait that hung in the attic. The patriarch's eyes seemed to pierce through the layers of time, as if they held the key to a hidden truth. Ignoring the ominous warnings that echoed through the estate, Victor resolved to uncover the secrets concealed within the enigmatic painting. As he approached the portrait, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The shadows in the attic seemed to writhe with an otherworldly energy, casting an unsettling pallor over the room. Victor's fingers grazed the ornate frame, and a shiver ran down his spine as the eyes of the patriarch seemed to follow his every move. In a daring act, Victor gazed deep into the patriarch's eyes, and the room quivered with an unseen force. The portrait's curse began to unravel, revealing a tale of deceit, treachery, and a malevolent pact forged in the shadows of the past. The patriarch, it seemed, had been the orchestrator of a dark conspiracy that had left a lingering stain on the family's legacy. As the spectral narrative unfolded, the shadows in the attic seemed to close in, trapping Victor in a web of ancestral sins. The cursed patriarch's voice echoed through the room, recounting the injustices committed in the pursuit of power and wealth. Victor, burdened by the weight of his forebears' transgressions, felt the air grow colder as the malevolent force tightened its grip. In the climactic moment, the patriarch's eyes blazed with unholy fury. The cursed portrait came to life, and the room was engulfed in an ethereal glow. Victor recoiled in terror as the ghostly figure stepped out of the canvas, its form a twisted reflection of the sins it bore witness to. The shadows in the attic seemed to converge, swirling around the cursed patriarch and Victor in a macabre dance. The malevolent spirit accused Victor of being the last in a line of betrayers, the one destined to pay the ultimate price for the sins of his ancestors. The room resonated with a chilling symphony of despair as the attic shadows claimed Victor as their own. In the end, the attic fell silent, and the portrait resumed its static existence. The room, once charged with an otherworldly presence, returned to an eerie stillness. The shadows, having exacted their revenge, receded into the corners, leaving the cursed patriarch's legacy etched into the very fabric of the Victorian manor. The manor, forever marked by the malevolence that had unfolded in the attic, stood as a solemn reminder that some curses were not easily broken. Victor's fate became a cautionary tale, a testament to the inescapable grip of the shadows in the attic, and the consequences of unveiling the dark secrets that lay hidden within the strokes of a cursed portrait. The aftermath of Victor's encounter with the cursed patriarch left the Victorian manor in a state of perpetual unease. The once grand estate now wore the scars of ancestral malevolence, its corridors echoing with the whispers of a dark legacy. Servants exchanged furtive glances, their steps quickening as they passed the sealed attic door, a gateway to the shadows that held the secrets of the cursed portrait. News of Victor's tragic fate spread through the manor like wildfire, casting a pall over the once vibrant halls. Those who dared to speak of the cursed patriarch did so in hushed tones, fearful that the malevolent force might be listening, lurking within the very walls of the estate. In the wake of Victor's demise, palpable tension gripped the remaining members of the family. The attic, now deemed an unholy sanctuary, became a forbidden realm, its secrets sealed away like Pandora's box of familial sins. The cursed portrait, a macabre centerpiece of the manor's haunted history, hung in eerie silence, its eyes a constant reminder of the malevolence that awaited those who dared to tread the forbidden path. As the years passed, the legend of the cursed patriarch became intertwined with the fabric of the Victorian manor. Some claimed to hear phantom whispers emanating from the attic, carried by the wind that swept through the ancient corridors. Others spoke of fleeting glimpses of a ghostly figure, its form obscured by the shadows that clung to the cursed portrait. In a desperate bid to lift the curse that plagued the manor, a distant relative of the family decided to embark on a journey to confront the malevolence within the attic. Armed with knowledge passed down through generations, they ventured into the forbidden realm, braving the chilling echoes of Victor's ill-fated footsteps. As they approached the sealed attic door, the air grew thick with anticipation. The cursed patriarch's eyes seemed to intensify, the portrait's accusatory gaze following the intruder's every move. Undeterred, the courageous soul unlocked the door, stepping into the shadowy abyss that awaited beyond. In the climactic confrontation, the ghostly figure of the cursed patriarch materialized once more, its voice a haunting echo of the past. The relative, armed with a newfound understanding of the family's sins, pleaded for mercy and forgiveness. The room trembled as the malevolent force seemed to waver, caught between the desire for vengeance and the potential for redemption. In a twist that defied the expectations of the cursed legacy, the patriarch's spectral form softened. The shadows in the attic, once menacing, began to retreat. It was as if the centuries-old curse had been lifted, the sins of the ancestors forgiven through the act of acknowledging and atoning for their transgressions. As the relative emerged from the attic, the atmosphere in the Victorian manor shifted. The oppressive weight that had hung over the estate seemed to lift, replaced by an ethereal tranquility. The cursed patriarch's portrait, now void of its malevolent presence, became a mere relic of a bygone era. And so, the Victorian manor stood at the crossroads of its haunted history. The shadows in the attic, once harboring the sins of the past, now held a glimmer of redemption. The legend of the cursed patriarch transformed into a cautionary tale of ancestral reckoning, a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and the delicate balance between the living and the lingering shadows of the past.